So
over to you.
Right. So yeah. So anyway, thank you for inviting me, Carl. Carl, I think it's probably about 7 years ago when we first started speaking about the regeneration of Bognor Regis. And what is been very good actually over the last 7 years is that we still do have this space to transform the future of Bognor Regis. It does have this space for regeneration. One thing I suppose over the last 7 years, watching what's happening, is that we've been concerned that piecemeal development might actually stop a proper master plan being possible, and that hasn't happened yet. And so I really want to say at the very beginning of the presentation that what we really want to see as the Big Blake project is all the different groups that are committed to regeneration of Bognor being invited, as originally you talked about, Carl, I think it's 2015, to work together to actually help steer the regeneration through Bognor Regis, because it's been shown that towns and cities that have done this have got people round a table and included them in conversations, have actually done well and successfully regenerated. Manchester is probably the best example of that. So we still have this space. What we want to do, we want to see this space being given over to something that we can actually put onto a poster at a railway station, sell Bognor Regis as a destination for people to come to. So we think that the regeneration should have in it some iconic building. It doesn't have to be big, but there should be something that makes people say, that's where I want to go today, and we have people coming for the weekend. So it's a serious destination. The regeneration needs to be able to link with what is going on locally, and what we are proposing, we think, is a centre of imagination. It's a model that has been tried and tested elsewhere, and to have an arts-led regeneration rather than other uses. And we want to see a multi-use cultural centre right at the heart of Bognor's regeneration. And because we have in Bognor a particular link with William Blake, we would like to see that fully utilised. William Blake, we know, is one of the greatest Britons. In the all-time poll of Great Britons, I think he was 29th. There is actually a William Blake museum, the most recent one is in San Francisco. So he really is phenomenal. And we are the only place he's lived outside London, and we are uniquely placed to have such an amazing cultural centre. Just looking at this map here, it shows that Bognor Regis is actually quite similarly located to other places that have had good arts-led regeneration projects. So going around the coast, you've got Southend Pavilion, you've got Margate, Folkestone, Hastings, and Bognor Regis with a similar sort of train journey from London, and we can offer that kind of tourist destination. And so it's a proven model that can work. Margate is the most popular one, and so I haven't really covered it much here because hopefully you're very familiar with that. But they've been attracting £8 million extra a year just because of their cultural regeneration, which has had the Turner Gallery at the centre of it. So that's been the most successful example. But these are other ones. So Folkestone is similar sort of size scheme as the one that we're proposing. And they've regenerated a whole quarter of Folkestone through this multi-use centre, and it's quite small, but has actually kind of rejuvenated the whole local area. The exhibition space in Folkestone is sort of 85 square metres. And we were looking at something of that sort of size. And when we got approached by Project Sunrise, with them, they asked us if, I think they offered 60 square meters, and that's been put into their proposals. So it's the same sort of size that's been done in Folkestone. A smaller centre in Jerwood. It's got all kind of designs. Quentin Blake, big artist, has shown there, and it's got a sort of combined like artist exhibition area plus workshop spaces, and with an artist in residence. So this kind of model that we've been looking at is being replicated successfully there as well. And then the smallest of all, the South End, they've got a small theatre with a gallery attached to it. So we think a really strong idea for Regeneration of Bognor Regis would be a multi-purpose art centre with a fantastic performing space and an art gallery, with crucially, as a cornerstone to this gallery, a permanent exhibition centre to William Blake. Now, William Blake is somebody who, when we first started talking about it in 2014, you'd be surprised at the number of people locally who hadn't really heard of him. Well, since then, there's been exhibitions at Tate, there's been exhibitions in Oxford, all of which have been sold out. The Tate one, 2019, very recent. It was in all the newspapers, but every single week, and ran for 5 months. So for an exhibition to be sold out for 5 months, it's quite an achievement. Millions and millions of pounds for the Tate, and that's the sort of thing that we could do if we were to secure a space to put his paintings. The requirements of such a building can be assessed and put in at the beginning, and we think that any serious regeneration of Bognor Regis should have William Blake at the centre, should have art, and it should involve us, because we've already spoken to the Tate, we've already got a partnership with the Arts Council, and they're all interested in supporting this kind of project. So we would like to be involved in any regeneration scheme, or if needed, to help kind of spearhead one. One of the things that we did in Feltham, near Bognor Regis, as part of Blake Fest 2019, something called Unpacking Blake. That was highly praised for the rich art content. And again, it was absolutely packed out. There was queuing outside the hall, people to get in. When the lectures were going on, there was standing room only. And it shows that we're not just talking pie in the sky ideas. It's something that is actually already working here and is already being shown to work nationally. Later on, I'm going to have a few words from the curator of this exhibition, Mikey Georgeson. So also, we got £40,000 from the Heritage Lottery Fund, and we use that to create a William Blake Trail and show the links, not just with Feltham, but also Bognor Regis and William Blake. And these are the signs that are currently around the place, and they've all got online links and little videos done by local schools. So it shows that something that's got Blake at the heart of it is something that lends itself very easily to other community projects and other community partnerships. As you can see in one of the signs here, the bottom left one, it quotes directly from Blake and Bognor Regis, and he talks about this character Albion, which is a personification of Great Britain, which you can see as a man with his arms outstretched. And he said he's got 1 foot on the rocks of Bognor left foot on the rocks of Bognor and his right foot on Cornwall. So Blake saw this as a key space to kind of create something new, not just for Bognor, but for the whole of England. And this is a starting point. And so it kind of fits like artistically, historically, but economically with what we need. Looking at where we are at the moment, you'll all recognise this site. And unfortunately, it is a little bit what we describe as an irregular arrangement of features and facilities. Hasn't got anything really to pull it together. And it is kind of run down and really lacking investment. So what we propose is significant investment to right at the heart where this space is, put something that's iconic. What we proposed is a mixed use facility. So you've got like leisure and retail, but at the heart of it, you've got this William Blake Centre of the Imagination, which has got vibrant touring exhibitions, performance spaces, as well as a permanent art gallery to provide a rich heart to the development. The idea of a theatre was right at the beginning of our proposals, but beyond that, we'd like to see a sort of creative programme that would help to enrich, and also that the mental health can be improved by engaging with art. So we really would see a much kind of richer, stronger community if we had something like this at the heart of it. This is just to sort of let you know how it kind of links in with things that are already part of Bognor Regis and Feltham. So you've got Blake's Cottage, and it is the only place that William Blake lived outside London. Not only that, but it's only one of two places that are actually still even standing that he lived. And it would be lovely to sort of see that restored. It is under the ownership of the trust. And I think if you did have such a strong modern building in Bognor Regis to attract the tourists, then to have a historic for the kind of cottage restoration would be easier. All that could work together. And again, we know all the players involved, so we're quite well placed to have an integrated plan for Bognor Regis. The picture on the top right hand side of your screen is a stained glass window, Feltham Church, absolutely beautiful. And obviously Bognor Regis itself is beautiful. So it's kind of putting beauty at the heart of the generation proposals for Bognor Regis, which help shape the identity of Bognor as something actually quite beautiful. We've had Arts Council funding. I think we're the only ones that got it, like last year, between Portsmouth and Brighton, and we used it during COVID to do an online art gallery, which you can all look at on the Blakefest website. We also created a film. We worked with the college, and it is something vibrant, which we want to see connected to the whole of Bognor. And we think that Arun District Council is well placed to kind of bring a consortium of people together for the benefit of the whole town. And we really have felt a bit frustrated that we've been given more recognition from like the Arts Council than we have from our own district council. And we are willing to work with you, and we've got a lot of ideas, and we've got a lot of good partnerships that really could put Bognor on the map. So please, we want to see you coming to us and working with us. We think by putting the Blake project at the heart of your regeneration, then helps build on the history of the town, helps reach out to the schools, education, and also it helps economically by having these visitors numbers that would only come with a significant centre would actually, generate all sorts of income. Who wouldn't benefit from an extra £8 million a year coming into the town? The breadth of William Blake, the proposals that we had, sort of ground floor, we're talking about Newton's sleep. So you've got basically links with science, you've got links with the environment, links with art and culture, and then to the universe, sort of, the cosmos. So that there's nothing that kind of William Blake can't be kind of linked in with, which is a really powerful tool for Bognor Regis if it's prepared to embrace it. In the biggest exhibition, blockbuster exhibition I've already spoken about, was at the Tate. They had projections, and again, we know the artists that did that, and the projections in Bognor recently, we know were very popular. But how much more powerful would it be if we were to kind of, go with like an outdoor gallery idea alongside a sort of a permanent home for his work. So in conclusion, what we're looking for is a flagship cultural centre, and we want to see that spearheading the regeneration. It's an established strategy that's worked elsewhere in the UK, as we've shown, and Bognor Regis is ideally placed in terms of its location to have all of that and more. And I think the quirkiness of Blake and the international notoriety of him will ensure that it's a lasting legacy for all future generations. The Regis Centre site we see as absolutely key to regeneration of Bognor, and it's really a travesty to let something that we know is off-putting and not up to the job kind of like standing in the way of regeneration. And I do hope that the proposals that are taken forward don't stop what actually I think could be our inheritance if we were to have a permanent museum here to William Blake. Just before I take questions, I just want to share some words with you from our curator, Mikey Georgeson, who ran the Unpacking Blake exhibition and also managed to do the international art exhibition that we ran in the library in 2017. So we're just trying to get up the short presentation. I'm trying to work out the screen sharing. Sorry.
So, Rachel, what you'll probably need to do is actually, if you want to, if it's on a different, if it's a different document, you'll need to come out of your presentation to do the, and then come back in with the, whatever the other document is.
Right.
So on the screen share box, there's a little X. If you click on that, that's it. Right now, okay. Now you probably need to go back to the beginning of your. Unless you're in the right place. Are you in the right place?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Right, there you go. You'll need to turn the volume up.
Arrive upon its shores and can feel an intense joy that it has played a part in allowing William Blake to find the means of entangling the urban modern experience, the infinite wonder of nature.
Rachel, could I suggest you put it on pause and put the volume up?
You've got the volume up. Can you not hear it?
It's quite quiet. Try again, and we'll all listen very intently.
Carl, if I may intervene, I think what you may need to do is when you share screen, there's a little button on the view options which says share computer audio. You have to tick that box. So I think that's what we're hearing the sound playing out of your computer as opposed to hearing the sound itself.
Right.
Okay.
Right, okay, so we go back to where we were.
Yeah.
And can feel an intense joy that it has played a part in allowing William Blake to find the means of entangling the urban modernist goal, the creation of ever more various and multicoloured artefacts. So Bognor is blessed to have this glittering jewel arrive upon its shores, and can feel an intense joy that it has played a part in allowing William Blake to find the means of entangling the urban modern experience with the infinite wonder of nature. And it's testament to Blake's weaving together of art and life that we feel the Blake Centre can broadcast, that his most famous poem is actually found within a personal notebook and not a published manuscript. To see a world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. So Blake invites us to find the wonder that's under our noses. These simple lines, written at the end of Blake's 3-year sojourn by the ocean in Felpham, remind us of how his art and life are dedicated to broadcasting a sense of collective reverie at the wonder found in the material vitality of the stuff of everyday life. And it is this creative frequency that we believe an innovative and outward-looking Blake Centre can transmit. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Right.
So Rachel, thank you for that. Just to double check, have you finished your presentation?
That's the end of the presentation part, yes.
Right.